trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. It's time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show. This show is sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, whose mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics uncovered by Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MET-D1. This show features stand-up philosophy that includes biology, psychology, anthropology, physiology, medicine, and music, usually self-produced and performed by the Hip Hop Trio Plus. This show, I must give credit to KRS-One, who we have used the coin that they coined called edutainment, educating while entertaining. Yes. It's sponsored. The sponsors are, and the hosts are Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MET-D1, and his co-host, me, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MET-D2. I have the PH and he has the M.
We both have these.
That makes us Doc squared. The title of today's show is America First or Last?
Oh, that's the question. America first or last?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first and foremost, the Hip Hop Trio Plus is maybe doing a wedding in 3 weeks, maybe not. We're still trying to work out details with people who are getting married. But our show today, America First or Last? This comes from Rachel Maddow's Ultra show. Rachel Maddow, hot dog that she face right is in front of her head. I like it right that. Rachel's new show, Ultra, exposed with Lawrence O'Donnell, a U.S. senator named Lundeen. Senator Lundeen, that's him, who I'd never heard of or seen before today, was noted in August of 1940, specifically August the 30th, 1940. It was a Saturday when his secretary noticed when she arrived that her boss is already at his desk, but he is agitated, weeping, and saying, "I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it." She kept asking him what was wrong, and he says, "I've gone too far to turn back." Oh. What is this all about? This is about an existential threat to democracy. And just so everybody knows what that means, an existential threat means a threat to your existence. And right now, the United States of America is dealing with a threat to the existence of the democracy that is called the United States of America. And the most significant thing about that threat is that, at least in part, that threat is due to the same threat that Senator Lundeen was worried about August the 30th, 1940. There was then and now an organization called America First. At that time, America First was being supported, financed, and paid for by the Nazi government of Germany.
Yes.
The Nazi government was paying our politicians to divide the nation. The Nazi government was giving lots and lots of money to Senator Lundeen and others like him to make sure that there was no cohesive joining of the different forces in America that wanted to know what was all of this stuff that was going on in Europe and around the world that had its basis in what seemed to be both racism and pink people's fear that they were going to be eliminated. Don't that sound real familiar? This threat to the existence of democracy was noted both then and now as what many called a threat to the American experiment. Now, hold on, just 1 second. America is an experiment, huh? To most pink people, I could understand how that would be, since they don't have a history of very many democracies. Come to think of it, the only one I can actually think of it was Greece. All the rest of them were kingships,
right.
dictatorships, something like that, military takeover. All of Europe was like that. Not so in most of the rest of the planet Earth. But why do pink people feel it's only experiment and not the way for people to live?
Yeah.
Democracy to them, a country that was ruled by the people of that country, was an experiment to Europeans. Imagine that.
Yes.
I do imagine it, and it tells me that anti-American is what the Republican political party has become. They have become the antithesis and therefore a threat to the American lifestyle that we've been enjoying for 400 years, because they don't want a nation based on every man being equal. They don't want a nation based on women having the same rights and privileges as men. They don't want a nation in which religion means nothing except how you choose to participate in spirituality. No.
And no education.
They don't want you to be educated, or at least not taught history.
Right.
We were just looking at a young, I think she was a state senator, who was trying to make sure that the true history of this country could never be taught to its children. She was trying to pass a law in which you could not teach children
history.
Not true history, not the history of racism, not the role that racism played in the start of this country, in the establishment of this country, and in all of the conflicts and problems that this country has faced internally. She don't want them taught that the Civil War was because of slavery. She don't want them taught that
that'll make them feel bad.
3/4 of a person was done so that pink people could not spread slavery all over the planet. She don't want none of that taught, because according to her, that gives, quote unquote, the wrong viewpoint. I'm sorry that you think history is wrong, but that's exactly what the case is. What they're trying to teach is history, what happened. And what you don't want taught is history, what happened, and why. Now, I understand how she feels like that. Pink people don't want to be themselves. Pink people have never wanted to be pink people. Pink people want to be something different. They want to be intelligent. They want to be moral. They want to be strong psychologically and culturally. They're not any of those things, nor have they ever been. The reality they want everybody to entertain is their imagination, what they imagine themselves to be, why they want people to believe they did all the stuff they did, regardless of the fact that our forefathers told us why. Our founding fathers put this all not just into action, but into words. They said these things, and then they acted on what they said. She don't want that. They don't desire to have a nation dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal. No. Just like in 1937, 1940, the ultra MAGA members believed pink men should have more say-so than pink women, that Christians should control non-Christians, and anything from outside the country, immigrants, were inherently inferior to things from inside the nation, with the exception of the original inhabitants of this nation. No, the original inhabitants of this nation were not even considered by this nation when establishing the rights and inherent responsibilities of citizenship. They were not considered at all, and our founding fathers said so. Rachel rightly points out that traditionally our justice system has a problem with people having political, financial power. She says, our nation has always, from its inception, had a problem prosecuting people who had money and power. The laws that these same people made did not seem to apply to them.
Right.
And she admits that especially early in the founding and establishment of this nation, our legal system did not prosecute, persecute, or indict people who had lots of money and lots of power. And they were allowed to do just about anything they wanted to.
Just like slave masters.
Yes. She rightly points out that traditionally this problem is being reflected right now. Where we are at right now is a point that will determine not just the status of the United States of America, but humanity, and to the largest extent, the planet Earth. Imagine you were at the creation of Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Imagine that you were right at the point at which humanity was being created.
Yeah.
Or better yet, where the Tower of Babel was built. This was this tower that man built to be equal to God. They were going to build this tower up to the heavens. And they were going to show that humanity was on the same level as the Most High. The Most High simply said, no, let me do something to these people and show them who's really me. And he put different languages in this planet so that now these people could not communicate.
And we view the Most High as he, she, so just add in.
Yes, please. It is he, she. In order to communicate with someone with a language, you have to transform the symbols that you use for words into images that your spirit can recognize. It's these images that your spirit recognizes that is the basis for all communications. When you read, you look at these symbols called letters that make these things called words, and you take those words through your mind into your spirit and make images of what those words mean.
Yes.
That is language. That's what God put on mankind to take this Tower of Babel thing and make it into just a tall place. But one more, imagination. You imagine that you're at the beginning of the creation of mankind. You've imagined you're at the beginning of the creation of language. Let's say that you're on this planet and it has just rained 3 days in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and you see this guy named Noah building a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's rained 3 days in a row.
Ooh.
This is three out of 37 more days and nights that's supposed to rain.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opportunity to change mankind.
Mm-hmm.
With the Tower of Babel, you have the opportunity at the change of mankind. Adam and Eve being created, you have an opportunity at the start of mankind. We have that opportunity right now.
Ashe, amen.
And next month, we have an opportunity to change the direction of humanity. We have an opportunity to not be European, not be the most juvenile, immature species of humanity on this planet. We have an opportunity not to bend to the lies and the fantasy that they want to pass on to their children, because they understand their children don't want to be them. Their children don't want to be them. Their children don't want their history. Their children want to be us. Their children want to be something other than pink people.
Yes.
And they realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Is this how we want to live? We want to live taking direction from the people with the least amount of knowledge, the least amount of understanding, the least amount of morals, the least amount of wisdom, the least amount of all those things that make humanity godlike.
Mm-hmm. No. Mm-mm.
Is this the way we want to live, or just an experiment?
If you'd like to comment, you can comment on the comment section of YouTube and Facebook.
Or you could give us a
And
call.
there's a number at the bottom to ask Doc a question.
There you go. Now, do we want to live the way that America First wants us to live? Is America just an experiment? Do we want / need / deserve a democratic system? A system based on the fact that all human beings are human beings. Do we want a system based on the notion that each person counts as equal to each other person? If so, we need to allow each person the same educational basis and give them an equal starting point.
Yes.
That would be a starting point. We right now do not have that, and we know we don't have that. We have known we didn't have that for at least a century or two. We've made no directions to change that, because pink people fear, and they have a right to fear that if they do, they will be left. They will be abandoned. We will exceed them and climb above them, and they will be who they always have been. The people who have the least understanding about this reality, and the people with the least amount of knowledge about humanity. But we got a different suggestion. We would suggest a new and enabling starting point for humanity.
Yes.
We would suggest that the new and enabling starting point for humanity involves teaching humanity humanity.
Yes.
That is the trivalent understanding noetics. We need to teach humanity their trivalency, their spirit, mind, and body operations. We knew this in Kemet 5,000 years ago. And we were teaching it throughout Alkebulan 10,000 years ago. Pink people have only been here for what, 50, 60,000? But they've only been a quote-unquote nation, composed of nations, other than just tribes, for just the last couple of thousand years. And during that couple of thousand years, the Roman Catholic Church made damn sure they did not read, understand, or get exposed to any of the history, science, math, medicine, pharmacology, psychology, sociology, anthropology, any other science from Alkebulan or Asia. No. Roman Catholic Church said, no. That's savage. It's barbaric. Everything come from Alkebulan is savage and barbaric. And if it comes from Asia, it's sinful. You know how sinful those Asians are. They make you want them, and they make you feel desires and things that pink people should not feel. This is how they appreciated humanity. They said you should not feel desire. No. And any woman who has sexual desire is sinful and evil. That was what the Roman Catholic Church taught all European nations. Forget your humanity. Don't feel sympathy, empathy, or any of those things. I suggested this starting point in elementary and secondary schools to teach the children themselves, to teach them how they function, to teach them the parts of their functioning and how to improve those parts so that their functioning is more precise. So their functioning, their ability to think is improved. Pink people have never been taught to think well. Again, two different levels of that. They don't think very effectively. Logic, reason, and all that good stuff has very little place in their thinking. But they also don't think about good things. They don't think well. They think ill. They think, what's the threat? What's going to hurt me? What's going to make me sick? What's going to take something that I need? That's how they have been trained to perceive their reality. Now, Dan Brown, the author who did Da Vinci Code and who's doing this law symbol thing right now. Whoa. My wife and I started watching the law symbol about 2 weeks ago, and we got really excited when Dan Brown's ex-fiance was a scientist specializing in noetic science.
Right.
Whoa.
Actually, she's his fiance. Yeah.
Well, she used to be his girlfriend. They kind of fell on some hard times in there in a situation like that. Okay. But Dan Brown put that into his new series and his new book because that is where he thinks pink people and all of humanity needs to be going. We need to be understanding how our spirit works.
Yes.
Noetic science is the science of faith, belief, and intention. It is not religious. It is not about how you practice spirituality. It's about how does your spirit function? How does your spirit work? How does faith function? How do you take what you intend and turn that into your reality? What are the mechanisms by which that occur? And how do you enhance those mechanisms? That's noetic science. I am a member of the Institute of Noetic Science. I was last time I paid my dues. Okay. We can't let Line 44.5 or his political/economic associates stop the Department of Justice from prosecuting and imprisoning Line 44.5 and his acolytes. For that would signal the end of democracy, equality, justice, freedom, and America.
Yes.
But that's what America First wants to do. They have made no bones about it. Make first abortions illegal, then LGBT, make that a crime to some degree. Interracial marriages associations, get rid of that because they don't want no more hybrids like me and my wife. No, 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 no. We think better than they do. We move better than they do. We look better than they do. We do everything better than they do. And they're tired of having to lie about their abilities or our inabilities, constantly being proven wrong, constantly being proven in error, constantly being proven not to think well. They're tired of that. And I got an idea while watching Rachel and listening to pink males complain of cultural, humanistic, religious, racial, sexual, and or national origin questions. They always had those subjects as questions, always fearful. They sound like they're against a nation based on equality, fraternity, and liberty, especially freedom or liberty of thought. They don't sound like Americans, and they don't sound like they want to live in a country that has those things. They sound very un-American. But one of the other things they sound like is a child that's been raised on the fears of their parents. They sound like a child who has been fed most of their lives the disappointments and regrets of adults all around them. John Steinbeck, writer, wrote lots and lots of things. He wrote some things that talked about that. He talked about a feeling, a environment, and a energy that is produced by people who have been thwarted in their purpose, in their goals, and in their objectives in life. He called it the grapes of wrath. That's what these children have been raised on. I'm talking about pink people who think they are adults. They are immature spiritually, and spiritually they are children. They don't want their children to be fed the same grapes. And I agree with them. But unfortunately, the grapes they don't want them to be fed on is truth, is history, is what they don't want their children to realize they're responsible for. Now, Mississippi Charles Bevel, brother of mine, wrote a song called Not a Season. And this song called Not a Season was called Not a Season because human beings don't have a mating season. We mate 24/7, 365. And you know that's true. Yeah, that's true, baby. You wait till tonight. Ooh, okay. He wrote a song called Not a Season, and the Hip Hop Trio Plus would like to do that song for you, even though he gave us permission to make some little alterations. And we call this song The Grapes of Wrath. Listen to this.
Babies coming to this world, not a season. Even if we don't, they know the reasons. And the one who sends them, gives them gifts to curb, tells them, children, take your time, but do not tarry. You will all arrive but naked, endowed to make it. You should have everything you need when you red and brown, black and white, how we mock them. Rich and poor, high or low, is how we stock them. Why do we make those distinctions when we don't have an inkling of what each child will bring, how they'll share? We just take their gifts and crush like we don't care. Then we send them out to harvest the grapes of wrath. Yes, we send them out to harvest the grapes of wrath. They should never have to eat the grapes of wrath. They should never have to eat the grapes of wrath. So we all get in line for a young one. Some will grab 10 or 12, some will get none. And the children chose by rich ones will be pampered, while the children left to poor ones will be hampered. Why do we act like such heathens when every known religion teaches us each and every child is in our care? But we just take their gifts and crush them like we don't care. Then we send them out to harvest the grapes of wrath.
Yes, we send them out to harvest. Yes, we send them out to harvest.
Yes, we send them out to harvest the grapes of wrath. Whoa, whoa,
Okay. The grapes of wrath are what pink people don't want their children to have to consume. And I understand that. Unfortunately, what they also don't want are their children to understand the truth. They don't want their children to understand history. They don't want their children to understand science. They don't want their children to understand biology. They definitely don't want their children to understand genetics, and to a certain degree, religion. That certain degree is made a whole lot worse by the fact that the primary religion that they are practicing is an Alkebulanese religion.
Mm-hmm.
Christianity isn't European.
And again, Alkebulanese is the ancestral name that they use in so-called Africa.
That's the Romans doing, and they, when they took over Europe, made all the other European countries call Alkebulan Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But excuse me, everybody in the Bible except the Romans who killed Yeshua ben Yosef were Alkebulanese.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Europeans in the Bible except the Romans who killed people and tortured and then crucified Yeshua ben Yosef. That was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Any Jew who was born at that time, because the Jewish language had no J's in it, could not have ever been called Jesus.
And
his
no
name
G
would have
sound
been
either.
Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
And since he was the son of Yosef, ben means son of, he would have been called Yeshua ben Yosef. Okay. Let's get back to the anti-American Republicans. They sound like they're against a nation based on equality, fraternity, and liberty of thought. They sound as anti-American as any Middle Eastern hate group. And we call Middle Eastern hate groups who are against Americans terrorists. Yes. They are bent on destruction of the great Satan, America. Ooh. Maybe that's why for the last decade or so, actually the last century, but pink people are a little slow and somewhat behind, the CIA, FBI, and all security networks in this nation have stated that the primary terroristic threat to the United States of America is homegrown. That means pink, male, terrorist.
Yes.
That is the major threat to this nation. Forget anything they're telling you about immigrants or Russia or anything else. No. For at least the last decade, at least the last 10 to 15 years, everybody who has evaluated this nation's status has said its primary threat as a nation, as a functioning democracy, is coming from pink males who were born here. They are usually Republican. They usually have had no college education, and they usually don't think well. Yeah, that's the biggest threat to our nation. I suggest we invite them to leave. That's my suggestion. If they don't want to be in a democracy, there is Brazil, Turkey, North Korea, Russia, Egypt, Spain. Go ahead. We will assist you, and that loss will assist us. Go ahead.
Yes.
Make my day.
Ooh-wee.
Get out of Dodge. Because you obviously don't like being in a place where democracy is respected.
Right.
You obviously, listen to line 44.5. He's talking about elections don't work. But then go someplace where they don't do elections. Go. You got plenty of already paid up dues in Russia. Go there. He's trying to build a hotel there anyway. Americans who believe in democracy, voting, liberty, freedom, each person is equal to each other, must represent that in the November election. The election coming up in November, that's where you're on the third day of the 40 days and nights of rain. That's when you're at the point where they're building a Tower of Babel. That's where you are at the beginning of humanity, because November's election allows you to decide what direction America, humanity, and this planet is going in. I'm especially talking to teenagers. I'm especially talking to people 18 to 25. Y'all have been missing in action for years.
Yes.
And generally only come to elections some kind of way if there's a presidential election. This is more important. In November, the election is much more important than who is the one person who leads this country. Because in November, you tell everybody on this planet what direction the people of this country have decided to go into. Are we going to be America first, Nazi, and get rid of one person, one vote? Get rid of a democratic ideation for both thought and functioning of our nation? You don't want to do that? Again, please leave. I will give you transportation. I will arrange for you to get out of Dodge, because you obviously don't want to be in America. You want to be in a place that is different than America.
Somewhere where you can kill.
Yeah. Most of all, they should be understood to be against the morals, scientific, and humanistic pillars of this very great nation.
Yes.
Conceived by the Most High as an opponent to the immature, ignorant, and yes, stupidly
Yes.
anti-Christian, anti-betterment sentiments of American society, culture, and communities.
Yes.
Go back to Germany. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. They're democratic now.
Oh.
That's right. I forgot. You can't go to Nazi Germany no more because now they're democratic.
Yes.
Yeah, they believe in one person, one vote.
Yep.
And they run their country according to democratic principles of liberty, freedom, and all that stuff that you say you hate. Oh, that's right. Well, how about their Nazi supporters, people and organizations that praised Hitler's and Nazism, like the Roman Catholic Church? I'm sorry. For those who have no grasp of history, it was the Roman Catholic Church that praised, blessed, and anointed Adolf Hitler to be Nazis and to eliminate Jews and to be a racist. It was the Pope that blessed him and told him, just like the Pope who said that Alkebulanese were savages and that pink people need to take over the rest of the world. The Roman Catholic Church, they don't care a damn about democracy. Never have, never will. So you can go there. You can go talk to the Roman Catholic Church. They have already told all Europeans that they are better than Native Americans, Alkebulanese, and mixed race people. And the Roman Catholic Church is totally against science, biology, and genetics, history, and their own religion. Because their own religion tells them that all the stuff that they have been doing for 2,000 years is wrong. Their own religion says that you should be treating all people, as your brethren. Especially those you don't know, foreigners, those who are in other countries, and those who are poor and need help. That's what the religion they say they're following says you're supposed to do. They have never, I repeat, never, and they right now have absolutely no desire to do those things. They have only the desire to continue being the richest organization on the planet. Now, this guy that they're supposed to be following, Yeshua ben Yosef, didn't he say something like it would be harder for a rich person to enter heaven than a camel to go through the eye of a needle? Didn't he say that? Then why is the Roman Catholic Church the richest organization on the planet? Why do they own more property than any organization on the planet? Why do they have more employees than any other organization on the planet? It don't sound like they're being very Christian, does it? Imagine that. Okay, y'all, where we at? We got a call? Anybody want to ask me nothing? Okay, I'm through. Okay. How much time I got?
We got about maybe 10, 15 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, good. Then I'm going to take that. I'm going to take what I had and run with it. Okay. Roman Catholic Church took a Alkebulanese religion and painted it pink. Michelangelo and all the other Raphael, all the other Renaissance artists were paid large sums to take all of the members of the Christian family and paint them as pink people. Though everybody knew from before there was ever a Roman Catholic Church that none of the people in this Judeo-Christian book called the Bible were Europeans. They knew that the main person that they were trying to worship / imitate was raised and grew up, spent all of his life except 3 years in Alkebulan. He spent all of his life living according to Alkebulanese cultural and moral dictates. That's what informed him on how people should be. So when he, in the last 3 years of his life, left Alkebulan, specifically Kemet, and went into the Middle East and then on from there, he was bringing Kemetan, Alkebulanese, and for Europeans, African psychology, sociology, history, and anthropologic humanism to others. That is fact. That is history. That is culture and anthropology. But anyone who reads and understands the Bible will know that. This is why the Roman Catholic Church forbade anybody except a priest from reading the Bible. The Roman Catholic Church would not allow anybody other than a priest to read the Bible. They didn't have too much problem with that in Europe because 99.9% of Europe was illiterate. They could not read. The majority of Europeans could not read until the 20th century. And again, this ain't my opinion. This is history. This is what the numbers say. This is what the physics say. This is what their cultural history is. And since nobody in Europe could read pretty much anyway, they didn't have too much to worry about. Until this guy named King James of England decided that screw the Bible being written in Latin. Latin, again, was Old Italian. He decided he wanted to make it in English. So people who could read English could read the Bible. The Roman Catholic Church, of course, didn't like that, but he didn't give a rat's patootie. They had their own church called the Church of England. Yeah, he did not really give two rats patooties what the Roman Catholic Church thought. And once he did it, everybody around the world said, well, they can do it. I can do it too. I'm going to print the Bible in my language. Yeah. And that's what happened. It started people to questioning the Roman Catholic Church, which is exactly why the Roman Catholic Church didn't want people reading the Bible. Because it knew that was going to bring up a whole bunch of questions it didn't want to answer. Why did you make Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes when his people were dark-skinned with dark hair and dark eyes? Why was Mary pictured as a European when she didn't look nothing like that and none of the Jews looked anything like that? We think of Jews today as being pink. That's after about 750 years of rape, pillage, and other pogroms that Europeans inflicted on them constantly, often with the instigation of the Roman Catholic Church. We want pink people to think better. We want pink people to be better. We want pink people to be meta. mettaah. It means above, means beyond. And we teach you how to be above and beyond where the Roman Catholic Church wants you to be, where your government wants you to be, where the institutions that frame this culture and society want you to be. We want you to be where God wants you to be. And God wants you to have not just an understanding of you, but a learning of your humanity. We teach those things to the degree that, again, we can change how you function from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet in 133 seconds. And if you want that change to continue, you can have that as a new life from now on. Most people talk to me and my wife about how we are. We are so energized. We're so lively. We are so, at 72, I got much more energy than most people 22. Because their bodies have to go through changes, mine doesn't.
True.
Their mind has to deal with stresses, mine
True.
doesn't have to deal with.
Witness. Yeah.
Their spirit does not have the images of life and living that mine possess. Because I don't listen to the Roman Catholic Church. No, I'm going to listen to who they say they honor, God. I'm going to listen to the person they say they're following, Yeshua ben Yosef. I'm going to do those things that they taught and that they want all humanity to follow. Because that is the essence of that humanity.
Yes.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm through again.
I want to give a shout out to Tamiko Holder. She gave us a thumbs up on
Yes,
Thumbs
Tamika
up,
Holder.
Tamika Holder.
Yes, indeed.
Madase, that means thank
Big
you.
thumbs up.
Tweed ancestral language.
Yes.
Yes.
Madase pa.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. We, again, anybody who wants to be better than they are, area code 216-375-2742.
Yes.
That's area code 375-2742. That's our line to Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, and we can help you be on the path to meta, which is better. Okay. And at the end of our show, and this is the end of our show, we always wish you peace, which stands for proper education always corrects error. Lord bless you, and the ancestors continue to protect you. Peace. Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I'm tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
For having us on your minds.
Peace.